I guess you arrive at the school thinking you're a screenwriter, and they pretty much kick that idea out of the room on day one when you sit there with a group of other people who also think they're screenwriters, and you realise, oh my god, these people are incredibly talented. And suddenly you find yourself looking what you've written and realising that there's so much more you can do and so much more you can be.
I finally found my voice as a writer. I've been writing for years and I was getting lost on my own, so I came to school in order just to get a few tools to work out how to schedule myself, and in the end I was challenged a lot on what I thought my voice was, and challenged on my beliefs, and challenged on how I kept censoring myself, and that all got broken down over the year, and so I've actually found my true voice, which is amazing.
You think that you know it all, but you learn to know that you don't know anything, or you can have so much to learn. And after a while, when you look back and see the first draft or the first script and say, my God, you know, how did they not laugh, or how we're not more firm with us, you know? And they were very flexible.
My mentor was Richard Kitnowski, who's the director of Love and Death on Long Island, among other films. And we got involved with the mentor in the third term. And it starts out as a formal relationship, but then it quickly evolves into an informal and very conducive relationship. And I mean, he was, if you track my screenplay, you know, which we had to write over the one year, from the second term to the third term, after my mentor got involved, I thought, I mean, he made huge changes and huge improvements to it.
Being a Canadian, I find that I'm now in a position to experience and also work in two different parts of the world. I kind of see England as a second networking world and a second job opportunities. I've made friends here, and I've made a lot of great connections, both on a social level and professional level. And I always have Canada to just go back to and make friends there and make networks there. So I think by coming to the LFS, one of the best things I've benefited from internationally was just the aspect of opening a whole new branch of possibilities.
There's a really brilliant atmosphere of collaboration amongst the screenwriters and the filmmakers as well. But there is also an element of competition there, which is great because it forces you to become a better writer.
I learned from Margaret a lot. She's one of the best teachers. And because out of conflict, you see yourselves and you see yourself and you see where you are. Because there is no conflict and you just stay in your warm pool, you don't see what's happening. So I think a tough person, Margaret is a very tough person, but it's the best, in my opinion.
My mentor was great. He was a producer in television. And certainly they tailor a mentor for your sort of personal attributes, your interests in writing elsewhere. And that was great because on a personal level you can get to know them. And you know, I can keep in touch as a result. It doesn't feel contrived.
Yeah, it's been good not being the only international student. That international, or being from a different country isn't a hindrance, doesn't count. You're not different. And in a sense, it's, again, strips you of your own prejudice on your own self, of how you identify from your own culture. And you come to hear that your voice is the same as the others. You're trying to get to the same message. And I think it actually goes for more pure storytelling, because that's all you're concentrating on, is how to tell a really good story, regardless of what your cultural hang-ups may be.
Having it as an international school, or at least focusing on, you know, multicultural, sort of cosmopolitan atmosphere, you know, you can see it watching the films. There's so much interest and so many different perspectives, which you wouldn't have if you didn't have it as a, you know, an international school. There just wouldn't be that diversity.
I honestly saw my time here as less of an academic experience and more of an apprenticeship. because they're basically creating the next generation of filmmakers and screenwriters.